Hi guys, what's going on, and welcome back to another video on Conqueror's Blade. So, feels kind of nice to be back in. I've been off for about a week on and playing New World in the closed beta, so it's nice to be back into the game. And I wanted to check out these Greyhair Garrison, or Immortal Guard in their upgraded format. Would have done sort of a slightly better video on them, but to be honest, I'm going away with work for another 2 days tomorrow, and if we didn't get something out now, then I thought the chances of me actually getting in game and playing them before they're sort of long forgotten about would kind of be gone. So yeah, here we are, a little bit of a casual siege with them. By far, no means the greatest battle. Initially, obviously, on Great Wall, not exactly my favourite map. Not sure how I missed that ballista shot. I managed to take a trebuchet to the face. Not exactly the start to the game that I was kind of hoping for. I was kind of hoping for that nice, easy bow hero kill. But in the meantime, just leaving the unit down the bottom waiting for them. And just kind of seeing what's happened. I was kind of expecting them to maybe make a little bit of a push along this wall. And when we look round the corner, boy, yes they are. Actually, quite a lot of them. So I call up my garrison. Also having a little bit of a check in the gateway. We do get a double fire drop there, so it can be quite effective. And since they're pushing quite hard, you know, I kind of wanted to see a little bit what they were kind of capable of doing. So we pushed them out. Get a little bit stuck in. Quite a lot of stuff starts to turn up. Now I'm a little bit concerned. I'm trying to sort of buy myself time with my hero. And in that sense, they're actually doing quite a good job of holding. Unfortunately, I then fall off the wall. Yeah, good job, Evo. You can still see racking up kills here now. Still doing kind of okay. But they start to get a little bit overwhelmed if we're not careful. There's quite a lot of enemies there. We do take a little bit of damage, but I suppose they sort of hold out with some losses. The enemy heroes kind of make a run for it. I was going to chase them down the wall, then I thought, oh, there's really no point in doing this. I'm just going to end up getting trebbed again, and, well, since the units managed to survive, we should count our blessings and keep them alive. So, push back down, get onto the ground floor, and look where I want to go next. So I was thinking that I should probably be maybe thinking about getting them to the supply point. A lot of them are kind of low. I do find it quite hard to use this kind of health bar for each of the units, you know, if that makes sense. I don't know why. I suppose in principle it makes sense to split the different unit types into different categories, but I just find it quite hard to use properly, I think. And so, yeah, I don't know. I didn't really fully notice that they were about all dead. Well, it took me a while to anyway, and then I was thinking, yeah, now we need to be thinking about getting them back to the supply point. We've got this pair of muskets like on the corner there, trying to get some shots in, a few little cheeky shots going on. They're doing a little bit of damage, although it seems to be mostly hitting the Fortebraccio. Pull the unit back out a little bit, back from that corner, particularly as the enemy aren't really pushing that corner that hard, and start to pull them out and just throw them to the supply point. We know we've got a clear run, or a predominantly clear run to the supply point from here, so I can kind of leave them to it. Then I'm back down to our core system, a hero, seeing obviously Greyhair Garrisons absolutely everywhere as these unit of pipe militia nicely walk themselves into the front of someone else's Greyhair, and they pay the price pretty quickly for it. Other than that, not a lot is really happening. Not really any sort of super hard concerted pushes on the A point. Mostly the enemy is kind of just loitering around looking for those opportunities, seeing if they can find a way in, getting range set up and everything. They have got a bit of stuff up behind us. You can see on the mini-map, they've got some stuff kind of up in our spawn point, basically. So maybe I should have considered going up to clear that out. But, you know, this is the only point they can cap. And if we can hold A, then they can really go anywhere else that they like on the map. You know, so long as they don't cap A, then it's really not going to help them all that much. Kind of a bit of a waste of my ult here. I thought that Maul was going to have another little bit of a look round the corner, but he didn't. But we have our unit with us now. We've got our Greyhairs back. Although they managed to take some casualties by the looks of it on the way back from that supply point. I don't know if there was some of the enemies that were pushing around the back managed to get some shots in on them. I must admit, I obviously didn't notice at the time. Bad Evo, that was not such a good move. But I moved back here and same problem as before. Pair of muskets throwing in shots, caltrops hitting us. I'm just taking losses for really absolutely no gain at all. I'm not really achieving anything, arguably, you know, just blocking up a space. But as we come around the corner, oh, some paladins. Who put them there? Very unexpected. Immediately go into last stand, a little bit too far back to be honest, and take quite a lot of damage myself. Then the paladins sort of start to push in, they go for their self-heal, trying to keep the unit up. And the unit actually holds in their shield formation really, really well. But the short sword gets round behind, which is kind of a bit of a pain. Thankfully, he doesn't have his ultimate on, and we see we are causing quite a lot of damage to those paladins. But eventually, they're able to kind of overwhelm me with just heroes, particularly that Maul, because he obviously has full knockdown with his standard attack. So it kind of pushes the unit back and out the way. If we'd had a bit more support in terms of friendly heroes, I think we'd have been easily able to hold that line there with the Greyhairs, because in their shield formation, they do actually seem really quite strong. But that's just my first few games impressions of it, and we've still got the rest of the game to go. So with them dead, I wanted to get straight back down to the A point with my paladins. And we've got this unit of palace guards here. I was like, oh, okay. I'm not really doing, well, any damage at all almost with my hero. Very, very slowly. Calling the unit round. When they get round the back, that's when we actually start to do a little bit of damage, start to cut through the unit. Able to help take down the enemy hero, and then we can just sort of work our way through. They try and get a treb in there at the back, but I just pull the unit forward enough so that we're completely safe from that. And we're able to clear them out pretty convincingly with only one dead. So I'll take that. Paladins still coming in as my probably favourite unit in the game. They're just so versatile, and they're just so good at almost every single situation. And then so we're still pushing our way back down to the A point. Just coming on down, I was going to send them over to the supply point actually to get healed up, but the enemy's still got quite a little bit out here, so we've realistically got to be dealing with this first. Grab a hero kill on my horse, and then just get stuck into the palace guards. Palace guards, obviously, since they're buff, a super sort of common unit on the battlefield now. So we just keep pushing our paladins in though, and good as palace guards are, they're no match ready for paladins. Well, not when you have already killed the enemy hero of the palace guards and they're just in loose formation anyway. So we start to push our way up the stairs, continue to create a little bit of damage and continue to fight on. Pushing them through. And yeah, okay, we cut them down fairly convincingly. But all is not over. We need to go on and push into the gatehouse, or at least that's my plan. And well, this is an Evo video, so it wouldn't be an Evo video if everything went very well, did it? So as we start to come in, I'm a little bit nervous. There's quite a bit of stuff, but we have got a few enemy heroes at the other end of the tunnel. But it's these berserkers. They go up the stairs. Okay, now a second unit of berserkers arrives. Okay, I can probably deal with this. Just got to deal with the enemy hero. Unfortunately, the second unit of berserkers comes back down the stairs, and they have full rage ready. There's very little you can do against two full stacks of berserkers and three heroes. If it was just that one, I feel confident that I could have dealt with them and overwhelmed them, and I think I was. But when you get a full stack, full second stack, it's just almost impossible to stop. Same problem here, just stacks and stacks of berserkers slamming into the front. It's just so effective. Although it does look like the Greyhairs here are kind of holding quite well. Or at least they were until the pair of Mauls arrived and sort of beat their way through the front of their formation. But the game is not yet over. We are still holding the A point, and we're still kind of hopeful that we might be able to win this match. Although, pretty much out of good units now. So we're basically down to our prefecture pikes, who recently got a bit of a buff. Their charge is so much more effective now these days. Really kind of a nice unit. But obviously we're spawning in at the back, and we've got to get down and kind of, well, try and save the A point. We haven't got long left on the timer. I thought I might get a shot in or two with this Scorpio, but whoever placed it, hadn't quite considered this rock here. I tried to see if you could just arc it over, but obviously you can't. It was a slight placement issue from someone. So we keep pushing on, and I want to get the unit back down to the A point. Quite a walk on this map, unfortunately, but there we go. Continuing on down. Still using the pike, by the way. Thinking about going back to the glaive, but the pike does seem pretty good. Now I've got the hang of it. The slow cooldown on the ultimate is just so nice. It does seem quite an effective anti-hero weapon. Yeah, generally quite enjoying it. Particularly now they fixed some of the problems as well with how it dismounts from a horse and things like that, which it used to have. So that seems a lot better now as well. So I'm kind of getting a bit stuck in. I thought I was about to die there, so I kind of YOLO'd the charge a little bit in, and they get a few kills. Shame they didn't pick up any hero kills, but they picked up 10 or 15 unit kills. And then I'm just trying to sort of set them to attack, seeing if they can try and hold that point. And I really thought we were going to. I thought, there's not that long left on the clock. We've got quite a few people here still. We've still got, a good stack of shield units. Okay, the enemies are starting to push in, but we've got quite a lot of stuff. Maybe we can hold it. But unfortunately, it is not to be. As the enemy keeps stacking on the pressure, they'll find that they can actually overwhelm the A point. And there they go. Look, they're crushing the units now in the corner. And there goes the A point. So that leaves us B and C to hold. 4 minutes. This is going to be quite tough, at least for me, because I've already thrown away almost all my units, which isn't really ideal in this sort of situation. I've really not played very well in this game. I think we had an interesting start with the Grayscales. Shame how I threw my Paladins away so badly. So, yeah, down to the Martellitori. But we'll do what we can. We've still got a hero, and we cannot give up. So, go down, and my initial thought is, when time is quite low on this map, I find that most teams tend to rush B. It's easier to get to, it's quicker to get to. From that supply point, they just go up on the wall and they all rush around. And that tends to be how it goes, 85% of the time. So therefore, I'm heading down to the B point with the intention of trying to set up there, throwing my unit in just as sort of cannon fodder to try and protect some of the other units and just buy a little bit of time for everything to get set up. But things don't actually pan out quite like I expected. Despite the fact I'm actually getting shot by some Namcans right from the off, not that much stuff actually really starts to push the B point. We get a little bit of stuff, but a little crossbow duel. Arbalist versus Pavese, that's only going to end one way. But realistically, not much goes to the B point. But I see the back end of a unit of Fortebraccio, and there's a little bit of stuff starting to stack now on C. So, okay, maybe we do need to go back to C. And we've got very little on the supply point. But it's going to be tough. What have I got? I've only got my Martellitori. Can I realistically hold the supply point against a unit of Shield Maidens? But at least initially this Adachi kind of overextends. Just wait for him to stand up, get him locked into the Pike's ultimate, and bop, here he goes down. Pike, perfect for that sort of situation where people overstep like that because it can just so dominate them, so effectively, particularly when there's not units involved. So I'm thinking now, we've got the range, we need time. Let's block the Shield Maidens with my Martellitori. It cost me my unit, okay, but it's only a unit of Martellitori, but it has kept our range alive, right? Because it meant the Shield Maidens didn't get to hit our ranged units in their charge because we blocked their full charge with our Martellitori. I'm trying to just be a pain against some of these mauls with my hero. I didn't want to follow it up there because I was too deep in the enemy line. And our range is still going. We still managed to hold the line. And I'm just trying to keep these enemy units away from our range. Trying to skirmish at the edge. Avoid sort of a direct fight with them all. Stab at him a little bit. Keep him on the floor. Keep the damage up. Got Fender's short sword coming in. Don't quite manage to get the kill on him. Although we're getting remarkably low. Get chased by a spear. But by now our ultimate has come off cooldown. We just managed to clip him. Again, we don't quite get the kill on him. And as these shield maidens start to go for me, I decide that is not really a fight that I want. But we were able to hold them and hold the supply point. It just goes to show how much of an impact you can kind of have. Oh, there goes the bleed damage. You can have an impact even with a completely worthless unit like Martellitori in that sort of situation. Because by blocking them, you're giving the rest of your team time to survive. Because that was the only thing we had there. That range was the only thing we had that could do damage. I think that was probably my best move in the whole game. Everything else I've done has been pretty crappy, really, and not really very well played. But there we go. That's how most of my games go. Still, been an enjoyable match. And now things are starting to look kind of up for us. I've got 30 seconds still till I'm going to be able to respawn. But we've blunted their main push on the C point. And we've still got units alive and pushing them back at the B point. So that's looking really kind of positive for us. As long as we can hold them at both points, then we should be good. I suppose things are starting to get a little bit more desperate now at the B point. But I'm going to be respawning shortly, so I'm probably going to head straight to B. Try and get there, see what we can do in the last sort of couple of seconds of the game. Take me a little bit of time to actually get there. It still for some reason shows the grey hairs as respawnable, but they don't. They don't actually come back. And just hop up the ladder here. Up diddly up. And then we can get stuck back into the fighting. There was a few enemies climbed up the ladders behind us, so I thought they might still be there. But looks like we completely cleared them out. Then we're back pushing out the other side of B. Few trebs coming in, which we've got to just try and avoid. Oh, is that the last bomb? Yep. And now we can kind of just get back on the offensive. Particularly, it's always nice at the end to have a little bit of a push out, grab a few little cheeky extra kills, because, you know, hey, why not? Build up the charge, get the extra one, and then we can get this bow pinned down and killed as well. Couldn't quite get the damage in on the dual blade. Couldn't quite go for the hat trick, but still, really enjoyable game. I suppose probably calling this a video on the grey hairs was probably a bit strong, considering only about 25% of the video was on them. But, as I say, it's already quite late, and yeah, I've got to go to work for the next couple of days, so I'm not going to be able to record anything, so I wanted to get something put out. Because I'm kind of interested how you guys have been getting on with the grey hairs as well. So yeah, do let me know what you think in the comments down below. Of course, subscribe to the channel for more Conqueror Blade content. I hope you've really enjoyed it, and I shall see you all on the next one.